Hi, my name is Mare MacArthur. I'm the Gabrielle Jungels-Winkler Academic Curator at Scripps College in Claremont. In my position at the college, I'm part of the team at the Williamson Gallery that manages the college's art collection. My role is to introduce the collection to as many students as possible by finding ways to bring art into the classroom. And not just classes for art, history, and studio art, but also for languages, history, religion, gender studies, and even math and science. The college has a collection of over 12,000 objects, from paintings, prints, and photographs to ceramics, textiles, sculpture, and lacquer. There are objects from cultures as diverse as the United States, Peru, China, Japan, Kenya, Nigeria, France, Italy, and India, and they span over 5,000 years of history. They were created for a multitude of purposes that extend far beyond decoration. Many were made for worship or religious rituals, while others were made for trade or tools to educate and entertain, or gifts to celebrate important moments in life. When we know how to look at these objects and learn who made them, how, when, and why they were made, they can reveal to us so much about the cultures and times that they are from. When we understand why they were made in certain materials, formats, and styles, we can learn a lot about the artists who created them and the people who used them, how they lived, what they valued, and what they believed. In this video, we will look at a Chinese scroll painting in the Scripps College collection. The 18th century painting depicts a Buddhist deity and a bird. It's not only exquisitely beautiful, painted in gold on a deep blue background, but also so full of meaning and symbolism that it can offer us important lessons about Chinese culture, history, and spirituality, and an insight into the heart of one of the world's most powerful rulers. The painting is mounted as a hanging scroll, a format that developed in China around 2 millennia ago and has since been widely used throughout East Asia. When not on display, the painting is rolled up and stored in a box. To display it, the owner removes it from the box, unrolls it carefully, and hangs it on the wall using the string attached to the upper dowel. Such a format allows for paintings to be rotated regularly and stored easily depending on the occasion. The painting itself has been rendered in gold ink on paper dyed with indigo, a natural dye that is native to much of Asia. This combination of gold ink on a deep blue ground is typically used in the most sacred of Buddhist texts in East Asia and in Tibetan Buddhist paintings of the 18th century. To the left of the painting is an inscription, also done in gold ink. And at the top center is the round red seal of the Qianlong Emperor, who ruled China from 1735 to 1796, suggesting that the inscription may have been in his hand. The figure at the center of the image is a Buddhist deity known in Sanskrit as Avalokiteshvara and in Chinese as Guanyin. Guanyin is a bodhisattva, a being that is very close to attaining enlightenment, like the Buddha, but has chosen to postpone his or her enlightenment in order to remain in this world to help others. Guanyin is worshipped widely and believed to have the power to cease suffering and offer healing and salvation. He is typically identifiable by a small Buddha in his crown, but can be depicted in many forms, sometimes with multiple heads and arms, and in China, sometimes as a female deity holding a baby. Each of his forms allows him to offer his followers different kinds of aid. In this painting, he's holding a willow branch and a bottle containing pure water, or divine nectar. He's said to use the willow branch to sprinkle his devotees with the protective and purifying liquid. Guanyin is shown standing on lotus flowers that appear to be floating on the waves of the ocean, and is looking up at a bird that flies down towards him with something in its beak. There are many legends about Guanyin that show his compassionate nature, and one Chinese legend involves a parrot. According to the tale, during the Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 AD, a small parrot ventured out to search for its mother's favorite food, an act of filial piety that is very important in Confucian philosophy. While looking for the food, it was captured by a hunter. The bird managed to escape, but upon returning home, discovered that its mother had died. The parrot provided her with a proper funeral, another act of filial devotion, but was then consumed with grief. Guanyin was said to be moved by the parrot's filial love and decided to relieve its emotional suffering. The bird then became a disciple of Guanyin and offered the deity a gift of a pearl or a string of beads, which it carried in its beak. This legend is rarely depicted in painting, but it's what we see here. Now let's go back to the red seal on the painting and the inscription that may be in the hand of a Chinese emperor. The painting is done with a very skilled hand, using expensive materials, and the calligraphy does seem to have been written by the Qianlong emperor. So it seems very likely that this painting was commissioned by him and done by artists in the imperial workshop. The Qianlong emperor was a very powerful ruler during the Qing dynasty and reigned for over 60 years. What might have motivated him to commission such a painting and grace it with his calligraphy and imperial seal? Well, from historical records, we know that the Qianlong emperor was a devout Buddhist and followed a Tibetan form of Buddhism for both spiritual and political reasons. He also embraced many of the values of a Confucian gentleman, practicing the scholarly arts of poetry, painting, and calligraphy, and was a major collector and patron of Chinese traditional, scholarly, and other arts. Interestingly, it seems likely that this painting is not only a reflection of his devotion to Buddhist and Confucian teachings, but also of his devotion to his own mother. For much of his reign, his mother was the Dowager Empress and was very involved in his rule over China. He built a palace for her in the capital, granted her title and unrivaled prestige in his court, sought her advice on political matters, and took her on inspection tours of his empire. During the 40 years of her life during her son's reign, her birthday was lavishly celebrated throughout the country. And it's possible that when she died at the great age of 86 in 1777, the emperor felt moved to create this painting with its accompanying inscription in her honor. If so, this exquisite painting of Guanyin and the parrot is not only important as a fine imperial work of Buddhist art, but also as a touching visual expression by one of the world's most successful rulers and greatest patrons of the art, of his love for his mother. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this Chinese painting with me. It is fascinating to examine a work of art and its various details and ask yourself questions about why it was created the way it was. These questions and the research that follows can set you on a path of exploration not only into art, but also history, politics, religion, spirituality, and sometimes even relationships and love. Thank you for joining me today on this journey.